Hey right bags, it's Jade today. Brand new hotfix is now live for Grounded 2. Also, we're going to go over some of the other stuff that is apparently still broken and what's going on with Beefy Smoothies. I would say don't go ahead and craft them, or at least use them right now, as they do seem to be missing their actual bonuses and buffs. A few other things to talk about and discuss as well. Missing flower petals and reaction to the roadmap. Let's go. Fix various crashes and improve stability of the game by 20%. A lot of you guys were complaining there has been more crashes. Some of you said it weren't. I noticed even more hitching, and that normally would lead to a crash. Certainly on PC I've been okay, but I'm guessing on consoles it might be a bit worse. Either way, fingers crossed that won't work as bad. Definitely seems to be fighting the wasps, and I do remember that being an issue in Grounded 1, I swear. Serious hitching when I've gone to fight them near the wall and also around my own base. That's where lots of the problems lie. So if it's still doing that for you, you're getting stutters and stuff, or it starts happening randomly, just obviously reload your save or restart the game. But fingers crossed, this 20% improvement will do the job. A scanner to start the fight, the mysterious stranger should now spawn normally in all instances. So if you've not been able to fight it, it's not appearing for you, and there was advice about reloading a save, but that was for the PTB. So for now, if you're playing, it should hopefully be something you can do. The archives quest should no longer disappear after a save or load. So obviously that's kind of related. Fixed an issue where the sour seed being planted wasn't counted towards quest progression. That again is all kind of related. And various quest flow issues that were caused by autosave have been resolved. So some things that haven't been fixed. Where's the goddamn raids? Let me know. Have you had a raid in Grounded 2? There's obviously a new mixer. There's lots of new, obviously, receivers that you got to turn on or turn off. Disappointingly, this was also an issue during the PTB, and they still haven't managed to fix it, even with this hotfix a couple days after the update. Really do think they probably could have extended the PTB just a bit longer. Like, would it really harm things if they'd done it an extra 2 days to get some of these hotfixes in? Certification does work a bit randomly sometimes, and it may have maybe put some things back if they'd gone and re-added a bunch of fixes. But it's getting a bit frustrating. The main one, as always with me though, is crashing. As long as there's no crashing with the game and you can actually play it, I can put up with things like missing raw science or other things not working correctly. It is early access. But for me, the bare minimum, as always, is your game must be able to be played. But yeah, no raids. Let me know if you've had a raid. Also, a little warning right now. If you haven't already guessed or peered into it, the amount of raw science you're going to need for the next tier of upgrades in the spring or summer, whenever it happens, to get us all our Omnant tools up to level 4 is currently at around 18,000 raw science. So I highly recommend you do not do the mixer. If they do fix the raids that are meant to happen, you wait until you've built up a good amount, close to 15,000. You should be getting at least maybe 400 plus each raid that you get successfully defended. I would honestly leave them on if they do start working to build up your actual amount. If you're a new player, again, same deal. Don't go and do the skateboard one. You do get a bit less for completing it, I do believe. You do get a little bit less for the raids that are in the early part of the game. I think it's only like 300 plus something. But yeah, I would say definitely keep them going as long as possible. Get yourself at least, I would say, 10,000 if you're starting out the game before you go and venture into the gardens and get your upgrades to tier 3. And at least 15,000 raw science by the time you finish the garden stuff. Then you can maybe go and do the mixers. Does seem to still be issues with buggies not appearing in their wheels. So do go make sure you're messing around with obviously the nests. Put them in, put them out, do that a few times, and then go ahead and see what's going on. But this has been an issue that's been there for over a month, and there's still people complaining about it today in the Discord forums. Some FYIs, the Sloan dialogue. No, it's not just broke for you. It does work for the first part of the missions when you're going into the gardens, but by the time you get to the archives, it's not working. It does seem like that might not actually be added for a while. They're probably saving it to record all the voice lines for the finished 1.0, or maybe there were some changes that they really wanted to get across eventually. So yes, you can still read at least. But if you've been wondering why there's no voice lines, it's for everyone that is affected once you get to the archive or talk to her a bit later. I noticed it as well last night. I replayed my playthrough, so I went and did everything you had to do in the gardens again, and there were definitely missing signs and tooltips showing you where to go next when it came to turning off leaks. So they really do need to fix that a little bit more and work on just adding a little bit more guidance for players. Also notice there wasn't a prompt to go ahead and strip the wires in the junction boxes. So if you get there and it's not actually activating with the X button, just go ahead and hold it anyway and it should strip the wires, and then you can go ahead and connect them together. But obviously only when you've got the tier 3 axe upgrade. Does look like there's still complaints as well about the parry still not necessarily working properly. I've seen complaints about the earwigs necessarily still being able to get through parries even though you're apparently the parry masters. I've got to say, I felt like I was doing alright last night. I successfully managed to parry at least 5 hits. It is just a hard fight, but yeah, maybe there is some still lingering issues, as there were some reports that players, even when blocking, couldn't actually parry anything. I've seen a few comments from people saying that the Axel boss fight has maybe got a little bit tougher. Now I can't see anything from data miners confirming that. It might have just been a little rebalance to a lot of other stuff, but yeah, something to look out for. Bring some more heals with you. And more stuff, the flowers that you're meant to be able to get from the cactuses, they make one of the best smoothies going, but also you can't pick up any of the actual corn dog pieces, because every time you harvest them, it just gives you regular Billy Dog stuff. Anyway, both of them are meant to go ahead and make the Sandy Blossom smoothie. Both of them resources are not respawning, it does seem, for older players. So if you had a save during PTB and you carried it over, it looks like, especially the flowers at least, the petals, the cactus ones, aren't spawning. So again, don't panic, it's not just you. Devs are aware of it and hopefully they're going to get it fixed soon. But newer players who have done a new fresh save with this update, or at the very least I think with a fresh save and didn't join the PTB, they should be seeing some of the cactus petals. And yeah, fingers crossed the hot dogs or the corn dog stuff will start spawning in as well. Burr not being there should be fixed. That was meant to have been fixed in the last update. I just want to check with you guys. Let me know if you can't see any more burr spawning. Speaking of smoothies, it also turns out that the brand new ones that you can craft, the beefy ones, some of the smoothies are not actually as good as the regular ones. Seems they've messed around with some of the data values. So Beefy Manito, Scorpido and Blazing Brew are less effective than their base variants according to Chillax, the wiki master. Apparently as well at the moment, Beefy Gastro Goo literally does nothing, so don't make those either. If you don't know about this, obviously we've had Chunky and Sticky, Sticky with a bubblegum, Chunky with a chocolate, but Beefy gives an enhanced effect plus 60 more seconds length. Admittedly, I did do a video and I said it doubles the health or it gives even more health. Well, that's because I was looking at one specific smoothie. I got it confused obviously with all of them. You need the new pumpkin seeds to go ahead and get them, and yes, you can grow them. You realise some don't respawn where you might have found them. That's because you're meant to grow just regular pumpkin seeds, but with the right kind of fertiliser, giving green thumb chance, and that will give you a pumpkin seed. So make sure you stock it up with that instead. I've seen a few comments players thinking that, yeah, something's broke. Nope. But of course only in the Ponic patch, which you get after completing the main story content in the gardens. For at the moment, don't bother with some of the brand new Beefy Smoothies. I wouldn't even craft them yet, because there's been a bunch of times when things have been crafted and they won't give you the values until after it's been fixed. So save them suppliers, use them up for other smoothies until you hear from me or you check the patch notes yourself. Also, I know some of you guys are fiending for all of the milk molars. Well, it turns out there is a milk molar that you can't currently get in the game, but it will ping you every time you go around the south of the greenhouse. You'll notice if you go through a cave there is a dead body and there's the remains of a broken transit system. I flew through here during my live stream just messing around, taking a look at some mysterious things, and it turns out that yes, the milk molar is in a place that you can't reach at the moment. So you're not going mad, stop looking for it. There are only 2 milk molars in the greenhouse, I do believe, if we go by Coffee's screenshot here, who's been doing a fresh run and looking for more. If you'd already gathered all the rest of the milk molars before venturing into the new area, there are meant to be 14 regular milk molars and 4 gold molars. I think that's right. Maybe it was 16. Yeah, actually, thinking about it, it's probably 16 because you have got new ones added to the top part of the park as well that's been redone. Other notable things, black ant eggs. You won't necessarily find them out in the world. It does seem some issue, and I did say they weren't around, but you guys have told me actually there is a chance of getting them when you go ahead and kill any of the black ant workers. If you've got the pincher trinket, which can steal resources from bugs, that might actually also have a chance of getting black ant eggs, which you do need for one of the brand new meals. I think it's the omelette one. So yeah, There might not necessarily be an anthill at the moment, of course. We know that's now coming in the future updates. So don't bother scouring the holes and tunnels for black ant eggs. But you will hopefully get a chance by killing lots of the regular workers. And some of this stuff is a bit anecdotal. You know, if I just said, oh, the game's broken by every comment I saw, then, you know, a lot of these can be down to players misunderstanding stuff that's actually just normal. Epioptic Pony 858 has said that he thinks the sizzle effect is still having issues. He reckons the Manitos are barely working, Lincolnberry bandages are doing nothing, there's no difference between wearing the sizzle armour and no armour at all. So again, another thing to confirm, and I'll know the devs regularly watch these type of videos, so it might actually help them if we see more people reporting it. And another reminder, the upgrade rocks are not actually meant to be respawning. It does look like they have fixed it. It was a bit of miscommunication, or they've changed it in the last few months. But yes, if you're looking for sturdy rocks, they won't respawn. That's by design until they change it. I've given my feedback, they've taken it on board, and I'm sure lots of you guys as well. Bit of luck, they will add that as a respawnable, because it really just kills the fun in trying out new armors or new weapons, since you've got to be so specific about which ones to choose. Again, I mentioned this in yesterday's or day before's patch notes, but really want to make sure you guys aren't wasting your rocks on armor or weapons that you don't really like. And in multiplayer, well, yeah, until they add the recipe that you can craft your own, you're going to have to just really bear with a certain style of armor or gear. And I'm going to address some criticism I saw from some people talking about the roadmap and how these updates aren't really that great. Like, I don't know what people expect. I'm going to keep saying it. This game is not live service. It is not Fortnite. It's not Apex Legends. If you go and compare it to any other early access survival game, they're on par. Enshrouded does major content drops every 5 to 6 months. Been in early access 2 years and it's not coming out until the end of August. Valheim, in early access 5 years, only has major content drops once a year. So sick and tired of seeing people compare Grounded or any game they play as if they should be updating every single month. Yes, Eidos are a bigger team than Obsidian ever were, but what people do forget or just don't know, Eidos have about 45 to 50 people working on the game. Obsidian only had around 12 at the very start, but they did scale up to about 20-25. They also had a whole other studio working for them as a third party contract, Black Shamrock, and they did most of the pond work and a lot of the early armors, gear and stuff. Eidos haven't ported this over. They haven't got anyone else doing any extra content for them. They're doing it all themselves. So I love the Obsidian team. I know how hard they worked and they put literally everything into this game. Well, the original at least. And I think Eidos are pretty much doing a good job, although there are a few things that are bugging me. But by and large, an update every 4 to 5 months with these now mini ones, even if it does mean certain things were delayed, it does seem like they're expanding on a lot of the stuff too. They've also changed tact and brought forward stuff that the community said they wanted, like more buggies. And even the smoothies getting a revamp. Admittedly, some of them are a bit broken busted right now, but that's been brought forward as well. So just relax yourselves. You don't have to play Grounded 2 every single minute of the day for the next 2 years. Go and play some other games. Come back for the major update. I don't know how hard that is for people to understand. It's not going to affect the game at all if you do that. The game's not going to die just because you stop playing. I can guarantee the player base will return for each and every big update. They've already made tons of money. They're not going to run out to finish it. I do have concerns about Eidos in the far future, but at the moment, they're doing alright. But with Playgrounds on its way, I think that's going to add a significant chunk of playability if people really embrace it. The spring update, yes, is filled with stuff that probably should have been in this update, but again, they're expanding on it with buggy mutations and a lot more that's been pulled forward from later in the year. So the roadmap does look genuinely pretty good to me. They probably just need to work a little bit on making sure all these known issues are spoken about really early as possible and then actually actioned, and we know they're going to be fixed. And for crying out loud, fix Pete's head. I'm sick of seeing his face on the back. It's been like 6 months now. Come on guys, fix it up. And that is about it. That's all the stuff that I've come across in terms of issues and problems. Hopefully these get resolved pretty quickly. And as always, as soon as we do get another update, I'll be there first to let you guys know. Until next time, rat bags, laters.